Ladies and gentlemen, Cigar City Sports Podcast. How's it going? Oh, boy. Thank you for those of you who tuned in to the draft special live stream starring myself and Nello and Mr. Ryan.
I just want to say, you know what? Howie Roseman looked like Doctor Strange making moves happen in that draft. Just saying.
He says that because we just
kiss
finished
him
watching
on the mouth.
Doctor Strange 1.
Just saying.
Anyway, let's talk about a few things before we get into the draft. Good Lord.
Can we just talk about real quick about Howie Roseman and how amazing he is? Just as
No, like I said, we're going to talk about other stuff first. But
what other stuff?
Yeah, the Lightning getting their ass
Oh
kicked.
my God!
Yeah. Did you watch the game?
No, of course not.
Toronto was absolutely rocking. That stadium, I thought they were going to literally blow the roof off.
Right?
The Canadian fans there were outside their mind excited to watch Toronto play, and they responded so well. They shut down a 5-minute major. They shut down every power play the Lightning had. It was just, well, not every single one, but it was rough goings for the Lightning, and it was purely
rough.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was poor puck handling. It was whiffing on several shots. It was bad.
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
I just love how you're relishing.
I'm not saying
in this.
anything, man.
But when you walked in here, you started talking shit.
I didn't say.
It's so funny.
I'm just saying. You know who's going to play tonight?
Who's that?
The Florida Panthers
And
Claude Giroux.
Philadelphia.
I mean, we're not in it. We
okay.
already agreed we're not in it. We're in the ping pong ball fight.
Sure. So your game here in all of sports is just to be a shit kicker for somebody else when somebody else has got something good going on.
I have an emotional attachment to Claude Giroux. Me and Claude Giroux have history. We go way back.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We know each other. We hang out.
How do his balls
We've had
taste?
a cheesesteak together. It's been fine.
How do his balls taste?
We got to go for the guy.
That's what I thought.
You know? I don't know how they taste.
Austin Matthews doing what he does, scoring goals. Messy passing in the zone.
So I'm assuming you watched that whole game.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I watched 2.5 periods because after a while, I was like, "There's no coming back."
What was the glaring issue?
The puck control. 100%.
Just puck control.
Well,
Too many turnovers?
no. It wasn't just that. It was the fact that the Maple Leafs were able to turn on a dime. Right when they got the puck, they were gone. They weren't sitting there trying to set up a play. They weren't trying to be calculated.
So they weren't playing too cute. They were just playing balls to the wall.
They were playing all full go. And if they can keep that level of play up, they're going to be scary, no matter who plays them.
I'm not saying that the Lightning should have lost, but 5-0.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's pretty bad.
It wasn't 5-0. I think we scored a goal.
Okay, 5-1. Was it goaltending? Defense wasn't there?
The goaltending after a while. Here's the thing, too, because my thing that I normally say is, we need to start hitting them. We need to start bothering them. We need to start being agitators. The Lightning dominated in hits. I think we had 50-something hits to 20-something. So we were getting the hits. Mm-hmm. We were getting in there. It's just when it was time to pass the puck through the zone, their defense was right there, or we were just being careless.
So you're going to feel it tonight then. Those bodies are going to hurt. I mean, Toronto, if they took 56 hits.
They did.
So you're just chopping the wood.
I think this next game is going to be very telling.
Yep.
So being in Toronto is going to be rough for any team that shows up for playoff hockey. That city is so hungry.
I watched Minnesota. I watched the Minnesota Blues game. They also got owned.
The St. Louis Blues?
No, the Wild got
owned. The Minnesota Blues got owned. You
said
Minnesota Blues.
St. Louis Blues owned the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah.
4-0, I think it was.
Was it in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Oof.
Bad.
See, that's the thing. I think if they come to Tampa, it's going to be a different story. Now, they're still an excellent team. Every team that's in the playoffs is definitely an excellent team and deserves to be there. But being in Toronto, that was something, that was a level of energy I have not seen in a very long time in a sporting event.
Well, they're hyped because they actually want to win a series,
Yeah. I mean, it's been since the 80s that they've won, I think, a playoff game.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that a hockey town. Can you give me the confirmed score from that game too?
Which one?
Lightning.
5-0.
5-0. Yeah, we goosed.
You guys got goosed.
Yeah. Well, it was bad. And, Vasilevsky in the first period and a quarter was really on fire. He was blocking some great shots, but, they got turnovers in our zone that we just couldn't do anything with. Yeah. It was bad. Power play. But that's another thing that I want to talk about.
But both you guys had 5, they had 6, and they only converted on one of them.
I mean, 11 penalties.
Right.
11. How are you supposed to get any sort of momentum?
There was 82 hits in this game. 92 hits in this game. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a rough game.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is where, and John Cooper talked about it, Steven Stamkos talked about it, Alex Killorn talked about it. They were saying, we've been here before, and they have.
Right.
They've been here before when they've won Stanley Cups.
I need them to beat Toronto and then lose to the Panthers. That's what we need.
That's what you want.
Well, of course.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But this series is going to be electric. It's going to be crazy. And Wednesday back in Toronto.
We'll see what happens what electricity were you seeing at that 5-0?
None. I mean, I wasn't seeing good defense. I wasn't seeing good communication. Our first two lines were not doing good. Ross Colton looked suffocated when he was out there. The only guy who was really getting pop was Anthony Cirelli. Anthony Cirelli is going to be a huge focal point of this team going forward. Like, nothing against the superstars. The superstars are going to be superstars. But Anthony Cirelli really did make a difference. And that's all I got for this. I mean, I just think that game, they got their asses handed to them. And historically, the Lightning are able to come back from shit like this.
Out of the 4 games that played yesterday, I mean, Boston got their butts handed to them in Carolina at 5-1.
Good.
The only close game was Edmonton, LA Kings that ended 4-3.
And who won that one?
The Kings.
I want to see McDavid do something.
Well, I mean, it's not his fault.
No, it's not. But when I say I want to see him do something, I want to see him go somewhere and be a special player.
We got some recap tonight's games. Rangers, Penguins tonight. Big game in New York.
I think the Rangers take that.
Capital. Okay. We'll see. I mean, Pittsburgh is playing with their backup goalie.
Yeah, I think the Rangers are a good team. People don't give them enough credit.
Capitals, Panthers. Panthers easy. Easy money.
Yeah.
Easy money there.
Yeah, especially with, isn't Ovechkin still out?
No, he's game time, I think.
Yeah. So did he didn't play any playoff games yet. He took that hard hit.
Game 1.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. He hasn't played any playoff games yet. Anyway, this is going to be a crazy one to see.
Predators, Avalanche, too.
Avalanche, I'm going to take that
Absolutely.
one.
And then Stars, Flames. Flames going to win that easy, too.
Maybe.
I mean, they're
the
really
Stars were in the Stanley Cup playoff last year, so you can't really count them up.
But Calgary's just been playing young and hungry.
For sure.
But
these teams, man, like I said, if Toronto can keep the pace they had, that's insane. And they would deserve to win.
Right. But they're really still going to lose next round to the Panthers.
Anyway, what else were we talking about? Oh, college football.
College football. Look at the rumors and the rumblings in the Big 12. We want to leave the AAC or whatever, the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah. Why would you want to be there in the first place?
Well, why would you want to go to the Big 12 knowing they won't be able to recruit against those schools?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just because of the name. And that for somebody who that's their job, they're probably trying to sell that to the board.
Does that benefit
really
all
hard.
those schools that want to switch?
TV time, yeah. It benefits money in TV contracts. It's very lucrative for the school. Now, if you're talking about if they're going to win anything or go anywhere, I really can't tell you that. But it's going to be good for them monetarily.
Assuming that
Cincinnati being the big name.
I mean, assuming these 3 schools actually do switch to the Big 12, Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. How is UCF going to be able to recruit against both the SEC and the Big 12?
They're not.
In Florida.
They're not.
They already couldn't do it when they were top dogs in the AAC.
Right.
What's going to happen when they're just like mid-tier, if that, in the
Big them
12?
Going up against teams like Baylor, they're going to get smashed,
right?
I think.
And then what's left from the Big 12 once Texas, Oklahoma, and all them leave?
Once Texas and Oklahoma leave to the SEC, that will be, to me, almost a non-conference.
Right? So what do? You take the Pac-12 and the rest of the Big 12 and make them big Pac-24 or whatever?
Yeah, something.
Nothing like the good old Mountain West Conference.
Like I told you, it's going to be SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and the Pac-12.
So the shakeup of like college football and college sports in general is going to happen.
And I don't mean
right?
any disrespect to the ACC, but it's going to be hard to recruit with all these guys wanting to go to these super conferences.
Amen. But is it though with the NIL and money now? Now you're bringing money into it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And that could actually change the landscape. But I feel and I think we've seen that the rich just get richer.
I mean, there's no arguments there because they have the most money to spend. Which then, like, if you're a smaller school and you have this one star player that's keeping you afloat, and all of a sudden, guys like, here you go, here's a $1 million, come play.
Yeah.
What do? You cannot stop that.
And now you've got your future of some of these teams that are sitting on the roster, and typically they were building blocks. You built teams around them.
Right, when you go on the campaign trail, the recruiting trail, you're like, hey, did you see Joey Manicotti throw the ball last year? You can catch the ball from him, shit like that.
Well, not just that, but you bring him in and say, listen, we know we've got some NFL prospects in front of you, but this kid is coming up behind. I only say this because I know the depth is Bryce Young. So you got Bryce Young coming in, and he's about to go pro, but we're going to line you up with this guy. Whereas now you have a stud backup. Some school's going to come to him and be like, "Why aren't you starting?
You're so good. You shouldn't be.
We'll pay you $500,000 to come over here and play." Mm-hmm. And they're not going to want to worry about that, and they're just going to leave. I think we're seeing some bad ramifications right now from the NIL already. And they said it during the draft, and this kills me. They said it during the draft. They're like, you know what? The NFL draft used to change people's lives.
Now it's just
it's not really doing that now.
No.
Because these guys aren't necessarily making more money now that they go to the pros.
It's more of a consistent basis, like a steady income.
Right. And that's obviously some extenuating circumstances. That's not every player that plays college ball. But the guys that are getting drafted, chances are they're already making some money.
Hey, man, I read that the undrafted Carson Strong, the Eagles.
Cole Strange.
Whatever.
Oh, no, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, the Patriots picked Cole Strange.
Carson Strong, whatever, they paid him $250,000, $270,000 to sign a tender through the rest of the year. So he's getting that guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it isn't nothing.
No, it's not. It's still substantial money.
And that was an undrafted free agent. There was another one that got signed for $380,000 with a $100,000 signing bonus.
Yeah.
I mean, they are paying these guys, these undrafted boys.
They have to now.
Right?
They have to.
It's like a bidding war.
It's funny, the NFL is now having to play that game.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the free agent game, or the undrafted free agent game, was pretty busy right after the draft. There were guys already saying, hey, we're already talking to guys saying, hey, we're not going to draft you, but we want you.
Most long-term football players come out of these like undraftable to late-end draft picks. It's not even the guys who go 1 through 4.
Right.
That usually have the longest
guys that go round 1 through 4 or pick 1 through 4,
like round 1 through 4,
because round 1 through 4 is typically where you're trying to draft starters and guys who are going to impact your team. Everybody in the draft is coming because you want them to impact your team. Let's make no mistake. But when you get to 5, 6, and 7, you might start losing people. You might start getting guys who are going to end up on your practice squad, or you're going to let them go in camp and they'll go somewhere else. Maybe they don't work out.
But Belichick lives and dies in that 5th, 6th, 7th round.
He does. And did you see?
Didn't your boyfriend Tom Brady get drafted in the 6th round?
No, Tom Brady was a 7th round pick.
There you go.
Quite famously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So famous. He wants to get that picture removed from Elon. I told him get that picture off to Twitter right now.
No, that's not to be said that there aren't NFL greats. Like London Fletcher was talking about that, about his draft day. How he was told, hey, we're going to draft you. We're going to draft you. It was the Rams. They were like, we're going to draft you. And his next pick was up, and it was a linebacker, and it was another guy.
Unbelievable. There's got to be a lot of that, though.
Is that the guy who does the NFL Network is Mayock, right? Mayock was up there. Mayock was talking about how he was, as a GM, on the phone with a running back, telling him they were going to pick him with that pick. And then he says, we're not taking a running back. We're taking you as an undrafted free agent. And the guy was like, great. And while he's on the phone with him, the Raiders took a running back. And he's like, he goes, yeah, it was really awkward on the phone after that. He's like, I was like, oh, no, that he's going to be a special teams guy. We want you as a running back. You're full of shit.
His 3, 1, 2, 3 draft picks all did not get picked up for their 5th-year options,
which is wild to me. I mean, they're
not
not
have had that job in the first place.
Cleveland Farrell, okay, yeah,
Cecil?
I get that.
Is it Cecil or whatever?
It's Cleveland.
All right, whatever.
That one I get. Josh Jacobs, I don't. Josh Jacobs, I don't get. He's a productive runner.
Is he though?
Yeah,
I mean,
for the Raiders,
serviceable.
Yeah, he's definitely productive.
We'll see what happens.
He will not make it in free agency. He will get picked up.
They're not going to tie a lot of money to the running back position now that they have both Carr, Waller, and Devontae Adams.
Right.
Where are they going to get that money?
Well, I mean,
you're going to have to pay, what's that little white boy's name?
Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow next too,
Yeah, but he's not going to get mega money.
He's going to get money.
I just think the NFL, this draft, was doing major things to try to shake up the free agent market for wide receivers because all of them are now looking for so much money. You mentioned Devontae, Waller, Hunter Renfrow. I mean, all these guys. A.J. Brown was one of those guys. Hollywood Brown was one of those guys.
Hollywood didn't get an extension, did he?
No, but I'm just saying the movement that you see for people that we as fans, people not in the back office, look at them as kind of like household names for their... Now, I mean, I'm not saying Hollywood Brown's a household name, but in Baltimore, he might be. I'm not saying everybody knows who Tyler Johnson is in the rest of the league, but in Tampa, we know who Tyler Johnson is.
Who's going to catch the ball in Baltimore besides Bateman and Duvernay and Andrews?
They're actually experimenting with their towel boy.
Unless they have another
catch
Bobby Boucher.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, I don't know who they're going to definitely be scouring the free agent market. Landry might be an option for them. Odell Beckham's still sitting out there. There's a few wide receivers, but yeah, that's a good question.
Especially with Debo. Apparently, the fires have been smeared, or as we say, squashed, and Debo might actually stay in San Francisco now.
I mean,
that's what John Lynch says. We're going to keep him, and we're going to work this contract out, and he's going to stay a Niner.
I think we knew that when we got through round 1, and there was no movement on Debo.
Well, they didn't take a 9, 10, or 11 pick for him. Like, teams were offering him their picks, and they're like, not enough. Okay.
It's not enough.
I mean, you're not getting Tyreek money for somebody who wants to leave.
No, I don't disagree. But I'm just saying that the production that he has, and I know that Ryan likes to get on the fact that he just now got a 1,000-yard season, but his talent is undeniable.
No, absolutely. He's like a Swiss Army knife.
What he does for that team, he is the better version of Taysom Hill, right? Like Taysom Hill is the guy that they're using as the gadget player. Debo is that cranked up to 11.
No arguments there. So, absolutely not.
That in this draft, so many wide receivers. There had to be a record of how many wide receivers were drafted in this draft.
Hey, did Jahan Dodson go first round?
Yeah, he did. Okay. Yes, he did.
Wanted to make sure.
After the weeks of me giving Nello shit about his Penn State boy, he did go round 1 to the Commanders. Yeah,
I think so.
Look at him
go. 16 or whatever.
Good for him.
Great for him. Great job, kid.
Yeah.
Eagles got a receiver
too.
And
Eagles got a freaking amazing receiver. First and foremost, let's get this out of the way. Let's let Nello have his 30 seconds of fame here, because the Eagles, in my opinion, and we said this during the live stream, the Eagles 100% stole this draft.
One of the top drafts in this whole draft, moving, shaking, breaking. Like
no. This is one of the best drafts in your franchise's history.
I mean, let's not say franchise history. We still got McNabb, who did get us to 4 games, to 4 NFC.
I'm just saying, with the hype around the players that you guys have gotten, and the moves that you made, and the guys you got when you got them,
and even the undrafted guys we signed. I mean, I think it's a perfect draw. I mean,
you guys got Josh Jobe from Alabama right after
from Bama. We got the running back from Oklahoma. We got a corner out of Clemson.
Yeah.
And we got a safety out of mid-Tennessee State.
You stole Nakobe Dean in the third round. This guy was being projected as a first-round linebacker.
Yeah.
They said the only guy better than him is Devin Lloyd.
They said
he was in the green room.
Size and injury.
He was in the green room.
Right.
Ready to go.
Before we get into specifics of the draft, because we'll have next segment to do that.
Sure.
Let's talk about like a hypothetical. So one of the kids at the draft didn't get drafted in the first round and got drafted in the second round and still did that whole walk shit.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Would you make them
You talking about Breece Hall?
No, it wasn't Breece Hall. It was
Breece Hall did show up. Was it McDuffie? No.
Gowan or whatever.
It wasn't McDuffie.
Gowan.
Gordon.
There's a corner. He did the whole walk and the jazz step and all that stuff for a second day draft pick.
Yeah.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Really?
Because that means there were only a possible of 62 guys that can say that in that draft. And how many were drafted? 262?
But if you're not drafted in the first round, do you really need to be there in hoopla? Wouldn't you rather be at home with your family? Hey, we're getting drafted in day 2. Let's party it up.
No. I don't. For my answer, I don't disagree with you. I wouldn't go to the draft in the first place.
Right, I wouldn't go either way. I don't want that.
I don't care about hanging out and getting a chance to hug Goodell. I would rather be home with my family.
Be like Joe Thomas when he went fishing with his dad.
Joe Thomas was on a boat and gone before he ever even had the opportunity to hear his name called.
What's up? We were just talking about A.J. Brown and how great and sexy he looks in that green 11.
That's not at all what we were talking about.
That's exactly what we were talking about. I'm just playing.
So Joe Thomas
Fuck
is
you
that's
and everything the Eagles stand for.
that's exactly what I would do. By the way, welcome Ryan. Good to see you, buddy.
Sorry, I'm late.
He's here.
Sorry, I'm late.
He's on that CPT.
That didn't work.
Oh man.
Yeah. So if I'm getting drafted, and I'll pose that question to you too, do you choose to stay with your family and hang out and just wait and get drafted and then go have a good time, or is it important to you
go to the
be
draft
at
and showboat?
Be at the draft, not necessarily showboat, but walk out on the stage, get handed your jersey, hug the commissioner.
Like if I'm a shoe-in like one of one, I show up. Like
if you're number
if
one
I know
draft,
I'm going to be number one draft pick like Deion Sanders or
Right.
you know what I mean?
Deion wasn't a number one overall.
but you know what I mean? Like I know I'm going to be gone.
I posed the question to him. Like one of the guys on day 2 had that whole walkthrough. And
Gordon, the guy that I wanted to come to Tampa.
Yeah.
Who was available?
Would you do that, stupid Jazz? That whole walk day two.
No,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it day 1. I wanted to be like Joe Thomas on a boat.
be quite honest, man. It'd probably be just me. If I was home, like playing Xbox or something, call me. Hey, yo, you got drafted. That's cool, but you just made me lose my game in comp. Thanks a lot, asshole.
See, I'd rather have like a big
That's what I
dinner
just
like,
dropped.
with a bunch of food at the table and everybody eating, chilling, you know.
I mean, honestly, it's nerve-wracking. I just don't want to be there. And to be quite honest, I really don't care about everybody's opinion in their green room or out there, the fans, because you get a section of 8 people who are going to be there cheering for you. Yeah. I mean, no offense, but I don't care. I would much rather be hanging with the people that I love and I know care about me.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Before we get into individual teams, what they did or didn't
For
do,
sure.
Where's the bust?
Where's the draft bust?
Where's the draft bust this year? Who is it going to be?
Aiden Hutchinson.
He went to the Jets.
Sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to agree. Once you do the extra sauce thing, look, it's extra sauce with the chain, I'm out. I've already seen everything I need to see.
Well, I mean, we've had showboats before.
Aiden Hutchinson. That's my pick for bust.
Think so?
Really?
I don't know if he's going to be a bust himself. I think he's in a bad situation. I think Gardner's in a better situation than he is.
I mean, if you play for the Lions, you ain't got nowhere to go but up.
Right.
Technically.
So you think he's gonna bust out, huh?
Oh yeah.
I think it's a tie between.
He's gonna show up as much as he did in that Georgia game.
You know who's gonna let us know if Hutchinson's gonna be a bust or not, or could tell us straight up? Penei Sewell, because that's who he's gonna be going against in practice.
Right.
Penei Sewell's going to put his dick in the dirt, and either he's going to come out and be like, this guy is next level, he's amazing, because remember when Ndamukong Suh was like, yeah, I fought with Tristan Wirfs, he's a man. Yeah. He's like, Tristan is a big dude, he's a tough guy.
I actually think it's going to be the Jets' third first-round pick, that Johnson kid.
From Florida State? I disagree.
I really do.
I think he's got a better group around him on defensive line.
I know, but he's also going to be playing some monsters.
Yeah, but I think he's set up for success.
Hey, bro, he came from Florida State. It ain't like he's a Penn State alumni who's not going to do anything when he gets to the league.
You see how many second day 2 picks we had today? That draft? Give me a break.
Yeah.
You wish you guys had that many players.
I do want to get the number up because
how many of them are going to do anything?
Georgia dominated. Georgia had 15.
I bet you will be screaming Abitke and Shaquan Burkser and Jahan Dotson over Johnson. You'll know those names. Those 3 names you'll know before we know Josh.
I don't think we'll know. I think Jahan Dotson's going to have to show up and beat out their already number 1 wide receiver. Whose name
McLaurin?
I can't. Terry McLaurin.
He's going to be number 2. He's going to beat him.
I was about to say, but you say you're going to be knowing him as a household name. How many wide receiver 2s you know that are household names?
Honestly, I feel bad for
Chris Godwin. That's the only Penn State guy I'll give you.
I'll give you Saquon Barkley.
Wow, poor guy.
I'll give you Saquon.
You talking about King of the Injury Report?
That and Thibodeau. Thibodeau doesn't convince me in New York either.
No. I think Thibodeau's also going to get smashed
by those NFC East O lines when they just bitch slap him. Talk about business.
Yeah, I don't think Thibodeau's the guy. Although kudos to his little man who was out there hyping him up, the Giants fan from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
He had a
that
dope
was awesome.
Yeah.
But so I guess let's take a look at this from the SEC. Georgia had 15 folks go. Here's the surprising one.
NFL record.
Yeah, huge.
NFL
Congrats
record,
to Georgia, by the way.
15 players chosen.
And let's talk about that because I think we said it before we press record. We were talking about Georgia.
Yeah.
And there are 15 players that went in this draft.
NFL record.
Now, is this going to be a reloaded Georgia team, or does this absolutely gut them?
This is going to be the hardest year for Kirby Smart, if you really think about it. He lost his whole defense. His backup defense is going to have to come in, plug and play as good as the most intimidating Georgia defense that I've ever seen in a long time.
Yeah, they were damn sure good as a defense, and it doesn't matter how good you are. It's hard to replace 15 dudes on your team.
Can you go back there real quick?
Yeah,
though?
but I think
that draft list one more time. Can you pull that
hopefully
up again?
recruiting they did solid. And they're gonna have 15 guys that can't go in there.
Well, we know.
Let's check this out real quick.
Can't show up and play.
8 players from Penn State, 6 from Ohio State, and 5 from Michigan.
Here, wait, hold on. Let's go back to this. 8 players from Penn State, 7 from Alabama.
Oh, my goodness! Oh my God! Look at Florida with 3 players, one less than Kentucky. Florida not doing good.
This is
more players in Bama.
This isn't a metric of success.
Just saying, Penn State was loaded this year with some great talent, and the scouts.
I am surprised to see you guys beat the Big Ten and beat out Ohio State.
Right, me too. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Now, is that a product of you guys having a lot of upperclassmen,
or is a product of James Franklin sucking and people knowing that the true value in those players is there if they got a better coach?
Hold on. I need you to take some time and explain the logic of that to Ryan and I.
He did not use those players to the full potential and to unlock their full potential in college, which they probably could have been better.
So how does one scout a player in college?
Right, but I'm saying once he got to that great recruitment,
answer the question.
He recruited them.
How does one scout the player?
Once he
college?
had the clay in his hand, he made something nice, but he couldn't make it beautiful.
Answer my question. So let's say you're an NFL team.
Right.
How do you scout a potential college player?
How many players have been drafted off of bad teams who
are you going to answer the fucking question?
You
or
have
not?
to watch them and you look at them.
Watch
and you
the
see,
tape.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they're on the field and they're judging them, that's a product of their coaching and what they've done, right?
But maybe you can see raw talent and you see that it's being underutilized.
I'm gonna say, bro, this ain't like it's Madden. Like
Right.
he ain't out there. Franklin ain't out there controlling these players. They're
He
gonna
should
play
though,
gonna play.
especially on offense.
Because I mean, we're a bad team,
and we had a lot.
We had what your boy Johnson go pretty high in the first round.
First round.
Like, come on. Like, this ain't like the years before Florida State where they used to had one after the other freaking going.
Sure.
Check how many
the Peter Work days.
Yeah. Or Warwick Dunn, Derek Brooks. You know what I mean? Like, even just a few
famous
years ago
Jameis,
Anquan Bolden.
Ramsey and Derwin James. Like, we're not good like that anymore. Jameis Winston, we're not at that level. So
Sure.
Did you know the Ravens have never had a receiver elected to the Pro Bowl in their existence?
It's probably a lot of teams. There are some teams that don't have. Oh, in the Pro Bowl?
Pro Bowl.
Derek Mason has gone to the Pro Bowl.
Ravens.
He played for the Ravens.
No, not while he was at the Ravens.
Okay.
yeah, he went there at the end of his career.
That's crazy.
They haven't had. I thought Anquan for sure, but no, never.
Anquan was a
Raven.
Raven first.
Was he really?
Yeah. And then he went
And then he
to
went to the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
That's what I know him more for is the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Franklin and finding the raw talent.
But he's just not been good enough to use it, put it together to win anything.
So as a pro team who's investing 7 figures in these guys,
Right.
6 easy.
they see that there's a growth.
They look at some people who are underperforming and say, let's use our most valuable picks on these underperformers. Is that your actual logic?
Because they see
or
how
are you
good-
afraid that
they see
you
how
have to
good the
give
players really
James
are.
Franklin any sort of credit
No,
as a coach?
He's on that Bill Belichick joint.
Yeah.
Why
Why
would
would-
take this guy from
yeah.
way left field, but nobody's ever heard of
Look,
him.
I mean, does anybody know? Did anybody know Bill Belichick's
God.
first round draft
He's
pick
gonna
out
be
of
a
Chattanooga?
super
Did
stud
anybody
watch.
call that?
Nobody did.
Okay, then.
Watch, he's going to be like a stupid stud.
And you know what? Even McVay was like, "Oh, we were interviewing for 120, and Bill taking him at 29 or whatever."
He said he's like, we wasted our time watching film on him thinking he was going to be there day 2, 3.
And he was not. He was
Round
taking
one.
day 1.
What's up? You want me to look at
Let's
them?
scroll up to the ACC. Let's see how many.
One.
And it
One.
was Johnson.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's it. Clemson only put up 2. That's crazy.
Also, that means, too, that we probably lost a lot recently and not so much anymore,
Sure.
which is kind of good.
But, I mean, it's no secret that a lot of guys stuck around for Ohio State this year. Their quarterback stuck around. So them losing Olave and Garrett, got it. Offensive linemen, it's the Big Ten. Offensive linemen go every year.
It's trenches in the Big
So
Ten. Yeah.
it's interesting.
Although literally the top lineman drafted, one was from the SEC, one from the ACC.
Wait, who was the offensive lineman?
Evan Neal.
Evan Neal. Yeah,
Quan
that's
Wu.
the SEC.
SEC.
Quan Wu is SEC.
ACC.
Where did he go to school?
NC State.
NC State.
Oh, I'm thinking of the kid from Texas A&M Green. My bad.
Oh,
And then Charles Cross, he was another SEC boy.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
I think Kenyon Green and Evan Neal are the 2 best picked.
I think Evan Neal was
Absolute steal.
he was the steal to me of round 1.
Yeah.
I actually think that the Green Bay Packers wide receiver at round 2, that kid Watson.
Watson?
Yeah.
Didn't they get Sky Moore too?
Right, but the Watson was a big move. I know they had to trade their second rounders for it, but well worth it. That's Devontae Adams.
Well, they didn't take.
That's a young.
They didn't take a wide receiver in round 1. They took two defensive
round
players.
2. Watson.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. Yeah, and
I like that.
LSU is this guy's declaring because they don't want to stick around.
Well, I mean, they're about to get in trouble too, right? So is Nebraska, apparently. I didn't even know about that.
I didn't know about that. Nebraska's already in trouble. But anyway, let's take our break, and we'll get right back into it. And then we'll start going into teams, who we think won, who we think lost, and we'll get into it.
And then
right?
we can ask Ryan about that amazing trade for A.J. Brown where he decided to wear that beautiful green.
And we're back. Jesus.
Jalen Hurts bullshit I had to deal with after that break. Unbelievable.
It's not unbelievable at all. It's actually 100% accurate.
How's it accurate in any way, shape, or form?
So let's put this out there to the world for our wonderful listeners.
It's like Tua getting his hands on Waddle and Tyreek Hill now.
Oh my God, Tua! Why we went from a real good quarterback to a no good quarterback? Why are we talking? We're not putting Hurts and Tua in the same.
I don't know. Watching
caliber.
them, it's almost the same thing. I mean, it's almost like they played at the same school.
They did play at the same
Almost
school,
around
but
the same
Hurts is
time.
way better than Tua. At
How
least
many
and almost did the
wins
same
are you
thing.
putting on the Eagles this year?
10.
10 wins.
10. 9 to 10.
9 to 10.
Really
How
think
many
you-
you putting on
you
the
really,
Dolphins?
You really think your passing game is going to get
12.
you 10 winning game
Yeah.
season?
12 to 13.
You think the Dolphins win 12 to 13?
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the most important position on the field. You, by your own admission, are saying that Tua is going to get more wins than Jalen will.
Right, but that's not because of Tua. That's because of Waddle and
Not because of
Tyreek
how are they getting
and
the
that
ball?
defense.
How are they getting the ball?
Well, when you're that good, all he's got to do is just throw it and you go get it.
That's how that works.
I
Yeah,
was
plus they
gonna
got a superstar tight end in Jazeki. Have you heard of him? Penn State. Pride of Penn State.
I
Great.
thought everybody
You know,
else is the
funny.
pride of Penn State.
Because, I see the Eagles winning 10 games with the passing game because they're not doing it that running back
No.
Miles Sanders.
First
guy
of
or
all, you
whatever
guys
the
don't
fuck
even
his
know
name
how we're
is.
going to use him.
Like,
You guys say whatever you want.
ooh, Miles Sanders?
Miles Sanders had
I
a
do.
bad year. He
I know
was
how you-
injured. He's not going to be
bad
injured
year.
this year. He's going to be ready to go.
I know how you're going to use
So
them
how?
every other week.
I wouldn't
Now,
draft.
in terms of pass catching running backs, you cannot sleep on Miles Sanders. That guy's talented.
No.
I think he's one of the best pass catching backs in the league if they can use him like that. All purpose yards, Miles Sanders might be pretty dangerous, but stop acting like he's a dominant runner.
I mean, you don't know that.
I do.
And he had a good
Like
first
I-
year.
like
He's
I
just been
told you
injured.
in
He's
the
just been
chat,
injured.
bro.
We'll just see what happens.
Until that motherfucker gets a comma in his rushing average or his rushing at the end of the
Yards.
season
Yeah.
at yards,
Total rushing yards.
don't talk to me.
Well, he's
Till he
still
puts a
800
till he
yards, and
puts a
he missed 6 games last year.
Oh, that's
let's,
cool.
Let's say about it like this, because when
King
you're
Henry
looking
had
at,
937 and missed 10.
but when
Okay.
we're looking at the benchmark for skill positions, it's 1,000 yards. That's the benchmark. That's
Right.
where you are having a successful year. You have successful talent. Zeke, every year he's been in the league,
Oh, that's
has got 1,000
bullshit.
yards.
He didn't have 1,000 yards every year.
Do you
He didn't
wanna
get
look it up?
1,000 yards 2
How much-
years ago.
how much
I know
money you wanna
that.
bet?
I know that.
How much you wanna bet?
I'm looking it up. You keep blabbing
No.
off about
I
this.
want to ask. Hold on, before you look it up, you know I'm not a betting man. How much you want to bet?
I think I have $5 in my pocket.
All right,
I don't
$5
even
it
have
is.
that. I don't have my wallet.
$5.
All right, fine. You're in.
Bingo.
Okay.
All right. So that is the benchmark for talented running backs and talented wide receivers. Is that 1,000-yard mark? That's one thing they always
No,
like.
man, you're wrong. He had 2017 983, and in 2020 he had 979. You owe me $5.
Let me see this.
Okay, it's right there. So you owe me $5.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you do.
yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's do this. Let's do this.
You do.
You're right. I'll give you that $5 right after I look up
guess
one
what,
more
though?
thing.
Still better in his bad years than Miles Sanders in his best.
What are you talking about, dude? Miles Sanders missed 6 games this year and still had it.
First of all, this is the last bit of individual player bullshit. We're talking about the fucking Eagles. So let's go to Miles Sanders. Here he is. Let's look at the stats for him.
Okay.
Whoa. Whoa.
You see what I'm talking about? He needs to put some respect on King Henry's name.
King
Let's,
who?
let's take a look at this. Before you open your mouth, Ryan, do you know how many years Miles Sanders has made it over 900 yards?
None. Not a single fucking one.
Oh, wait, he does know.
You guys are
say,
so
you know how
cute.
many-
Did
you
you guys
know how
work?
many times
Did you
I
guys
fucking
work
looked
on
that
this
up?
together? Did you guys work on this together?
Anyway, let's go into the draft, huh?
No. I'm going to ask a question because we were talking about it. and
Let's
it's
do
a
it. Let's do it.
very
Let's
good-
finish it if we're finishing
Right.
a subject.
So
Before
we were
we go on
talking
to your putting the Eagles balls deep in.
Okay, well, it's just another Eagle. So we were talking about would you rather have A.J. Brown or Chris Godwin?
Yeah.
And I said A.J. Brown 3,000 times over.
You did because he's on your team now, and you're a homer for
But
sure.
even before that, though,
Okay.
more explosive and just I like his style of play way
Okay.
better than Chris Godwin. Even
Okay.
though Godwin has hands that are steady, you can always rely on him if he's open. But he does fumble the ball.
Okay. Who does? Chris Godwin?
Chris Godwin, yeah. And he had a few fumble rooskies last year for sure.
Okay.
That were pretty important fumble rooskies, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's look at this for a stat
They're about
comparison.
the same height, too, to be quite honest.
But I believe A.J. Brown is a little thicker.
Yeah, he's strong.
He's built like a shit brick house.
Brick shit house.
Shit brick house.
And to be fair, honest, I will probably this season, I would take A.J. Brown just because of his also coming off an ACL.
Hey, don't worry about it. We got a 2 extra large 11s coming in the mail. You and me, we're gonna rock that green.
I'll rock it. I'll support my boy. My man got paid.
There you go.
Something the Titans didn't want to fucking do. Stingy bastards.
So you want to talk about that trade and how it was amazing? Like I still like the Eagles trade for A.J. Brown. Like it replays in my dreams. It's amazing. Is it your nightmare?
Not really. You're a Titans fan. You get used to people coming and going. I mean, I was honestly more worried. I thought he would be gone before we even got to this point in the draft, to be quite honest, because they were talking about shopping him beforehand.
Are you upset that they wouldn't go to $20 million? He said if it would have been $20 million
It's
guaranteed, he would have taken it.
Can't go. It's at what point are you looking at the rest of your team compared to one guy?
Because he could have earned $20 million with incentives.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, see, and that was my thing. Is
What's Derrick Henry's contract look like?
I don't know. I just
Has he
know
been
that
paid yet?
I think they came to an agreement last year on him.
Okay, I'm just curious.
And I mean, we still got a lot of boys on the offensive line. You know what I mean? Defense that we're trying to keep.
Because the NFL is not about one player.
It's not. And
But
as much
paying
as
a
it sucks,
linebacker $90 million is okay.
Which linebacker did they pay $90 million?
Harold Landry, which is that's one of the things that kind of is like a slap in the face. But the defense that kind of
$90
needs
million
it.
for a linebacker.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That's a miscalculation if you're looking to keep A.J. Brown.
I get it, but at the end of the day, if it were me, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I would do anything different
I would.
because
I would drop his contract to $70 million, which is still ridiculous for a linebacker, and then put the remainder on A.J. Brown.
Ding, 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 ding.
If I could, and if that were to happen.
Right.
You know
We're
what
not
I'm
in the
saying?
room. We're not in the room.
And that's who's to say that it's not going to happen. But if I had to pick between Harold Landry on defense or A.J. Brown on offense, I think I still stick with my defensive guy because, to be quite honest, Henry's touching the ball 20 to 30 times a game.
Until he's not.
Yeah, and then if worst case scenario, we can try again, even though we have a horrible track record with wide receivers, which is one of the main reasons I wanted to keep this guy as the first guy we've had that's actually, from day one, showed the fuck up.
Sure.
And, I mean, Treylon Burks, who knows what he's going to do. Hopefully he does well.
I mean, you
Tannehill's
guys,
excited about him.
Treylon Burks is basically.
I'm excited as shit about
plug
Treylon
and
Burks.
play with A.J. Brown. Like they're basically the same type of receiver.
Yeah.
I think
They
Burks
are,
is bigger.
except
He's
for
bigger, yes.
in the
taller
NFL?
wise, not thick.
A.J. Brown is proven. Treylon Burks is not.
Right.
And that's my biggest thing. A lot of these guys who got drafted early and high can end up doing absolutely nothing when they get to the NFL. And with wide receivers in the Titans track record, Dorial Green-Beckham, Kenny Britt,
Britt wasn't bad.
Corey Davis, get the fuck out of here.
Britt wasn't bad. He didn't have no quarterback.
Go look at his fucking numbers. I can't tell you matter of fact, Derek Mason was probably the last time we had a decent wide receiver.
Yeah. I'll say this.
Who's a tight end? Delaney
Walker. Yeah, that's a sad fact when your tight end is your leading receiver.
Ask the Niners about
every
that.
7 years.
Ask the Baltimore Ravens about that.
And the Patriots with Gronk.
So I mean, jeez.
Dallas Goedert. The Eagles.
I don't know. That's a tough one. But when you look at Treylon Burks, on
I
tape,
think it's a great pick, man.
when you look at him, like
It's who I wanted next to him.
So the comparison you give to Hutchinson, where you look at Hutchinson and when he played the game that matters, he didn't show up.
Yeah.
When you look at Treylon Burks and he played the teams that mattered, the Alabamas, the LSUs, the Ole Misses, he shows up.
Yeah.
He plays. He was going against guys like Stingley. He was going against guys that were starters at Alabama that didn't go into the pros, but still. He went against guys like Job, who did go to the pros, but I mean, like, he was somebody who, when you put the tape on for him, it's undeniable. He didn't have like crazy amounts of success, but neither did Calvin Johnson.
We can't say
we can't say that Mike Evans, that everybody all year was talking nothing about how great Mike Evans was when he got drafted, right? Like, he played for Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel was the coming attraction.
Yeah, do you think Evans made Manziel what he was?
Yes.
Or did Manziel make
100%.
Evans what he
no,
was?
100%. I think Evans was the one who made it work because he was the big producer for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any denying that. I was just curious what you guys thought.
Mike Evans was never going to be the guy to go grab the mic and say, "Look at me, I'm the best receiver. Give me all the look how he is in Tampa."
Yeah.
He's like, "Spread the ball. Give it to everybody. Give it to everybody. Let's just win." When he wins, he takes his jersey, his helmet off, goes and gives it to the fans. He's a selfless dude. So there's your comparison for Treylon Burks. I'm not saying he's one of one with Mike Evans. I'm not saying he's one of one with A.J. Brown. I'm just saying if you're looking at stuff that build a good prospect coming from college to the pros, he's got the tape.
And like I said, that's one of the things that kind of takes away a little bit of this sting for me, was because he was a guy that I actually wanted with that 26th pick.
What about Malik?
Treylon Burks.
What about Malik in the third round? What do you think about that?
We're not talking about Malik in the third round right now. We're talking about Treylon Burks right now. And I wanted him to line up.
And then we're getting into
Brown.
the draft because we've gone too long.
With them two switching, I mean, we're getting rid of A.J. Brown. Yes, it sucks because I finally would have had a dual threat along with that we should have had last year with Julio and Henry back healthy. Who knows what we could do? But got to restart. I mean, we got Robert Woods, so hopefully he doesn't get hurt and he can put up some numbers. Maybe we can make something work. But as far as Malik goes, it's cool. We needed to get a quarterback in there soon, so.
What do you think about Tannehill saying he's not here to mentor anybody? If he learns along the way, so be it.
That's cool.
Again, he didn't say that.
When he got when they signed his
Basically, what he
contract,
said.
did it say school teacher?
Right.
Did it say school? No, he was a fucking starting quarterback.
Don't you think you're starting on the wrong foot already? This kid has not even walked into the door. Now you're going to give this kid a chip on his shoulders to make you look like
I
shit.
think
if
you're
he outplays
doing.
him, he outplays him.
I think what you guys are doing is none of this has actually happened. Tannehill was just asked a question and he answered it. That's not saying that he's not going to walk in and he's not going to go, "Malik, great to meet you, man. Brian, let me show you to the QB room. Let me show you around." He's saying he's not going to go, "All right, Malik, it's 8 p.m. Are you reading your playbook?" That's not his job. These are grown men.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback. He is not part of the ownership group for Tennessee. He is not having a vested interest in the future of the franchise. That's not his job. So that's exactly what he's saying, and it's 100% true. And I guarantee you, with 100% certainty, that Malik takes no guff off of that comment whatsoever. No. I bet you he still walks in and goes, "Hey, guys, Malik, I'm ready to play. Let's go."
Yeah, because at the end of the day, bro, that person is the guy who's going to take your job or replace you. So,
do you think Malik is the answer for the future?
That's unknowable right now.
I am not
Listen,
a GM in that room. If I was, we could have Treylon Burks and A.J. Brown. So
I think he's got a great situation. I think Malik's got a great situation. Of all the quarterbacks that were drafted, it couldn't have gone any better for him because he's going to a team with Derrick Henry and with a decent defense. Guys, you guys just won the AFC last year at the end of the year. Yeah. You weren't AFC champs, which sucks, but you got there. You had the number 1 record at the end of the year. He's going there with a stout defense. He's going there with a veteran quarterback he doesn't need to worry about getting on the field to replace. And when he does get on the field, he's probably still got some good years left on Derrick Henry. So of all the guys that could come in, and he's going to come in with the guy like Treylon Burks, they're going to develop together. Things are going to go well. I think he got a better situation than Matt Corral. He damn sure got a better situation than Desmond Ridder. And the only other quarterback I think that's going to have a great situation is Kenny Pickett. But Kenny's getting thrown into the fire. Kenny is going to be the Pittsburgh quarterback in Pittsburgh. When he played college at Pittsburgh, there's a lot of hype and a lot of expectation. Malik, there's no expectation. Ryan Tannehill's the guy. That's not even a discussion. It's not even talking about a QB camp battle. They're just talking about him being there for the future. Malik, of all of them, got the best situation. So, speaking of quarterbacks, there was only one taken in round 1. I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, it's happened before. They were talking about it during the draft.
When we did our mock, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And I told a buddy of mine.
You had Malik
Jason,
at 20, though.
Right.
I figured Malik would be the better pick. I think he's probably the better athlete and quarterback, but
athletic-wise, yeah. But I don't know about throwing out of the pocket. Pittsburgh's not going to...
In terms of making it happen, I think he and Kenny Pickett have the same keel. I think there's a lot of upside for Malik, but as of right now, if I'm Pittsburgh, you replay that draft 10 times out of 10. I got them both to pick from. I'm taking Pickett.
So every time. I think he's going to be running for his life a little
more. We all knew Trayvon was going to be number 1.
Right.
Right?
Right. We mocked him there, and I thought he was going to go there. They just felt like he was more pro-ready, and then we thought Hutchinson might be the homer to go where he went.
Right, absolutely. And then Stingley went to 3.
I did not expect this.
Really?
I did. I expect him to go 2 or 3.
So you guys did. I did not. I thought corner was not going to be the big need that Houston was going to tackle.
Derek Stingley is that type of shutdown corner where Lovey can blitz and keep him on the island and let him play man-on-man with the guy. And that's what he loves. He loves those guys.
So his big – and this is one of those things when I talk about if I'm the GM, my recruiting process, I'm looking at somebody like him, and his last good stout year was his freshman year. He did okay this year. He didn't blow the roof off. He's got the physical talent. And the biggest thing they could say is, he guarded Jamar Chase. He guarded Justin Jefferson. That's great. But at 3 overall, to have him go right there, I just thought it was a little early.
Williams.
Is he a top 10? Sure, he's a top 10. I would have taken him over Sauce all day.
Sauce was surprising at 4, but the Jets will be the Jets. Yeah. They also needed a
How about
corner.
the fact that the commissioner called him Sauce?
Right? Extra
His
sauce.
name is Ahmad Gardner or something like that?
Yeah.
He's like, Sauce Gardner. I was like, oh, shit.
Thibodeau at 5 seems like a Giants pick. They needed an end.
Yeah, but they surprised me here. They surprised me here because taking Kayvon Thibodeau right there and not Evan Neal, which it worked out for him.
They probably knew they were taking one of the 2 tackles, and they were fine with it. That's why they took Thibodeau first.
So you think they had even footage on Ekwonu and Evan Neal, and they just said it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other?
Yeah, they had more. They could have, if Thibodeau makes it to 6, the Panthers could move down possibly.
Yeah.
Because there's a defensive end that people wanted. So taking Thibodeau and basically sealed up those 2 tackles. So the 2 tackles went back and back.
This one got me. Drake London going to Atlanta.
That was like the most deflating pick of the draft.
I was like, wait, what?
Exactly. I thought they were going to trade back.
I thought they were going to trade back, or they were going to take a quarterback, which they ended up actually doing. Speaking of which, Desmond Ridder said he's not leaving Atlanta until he gets a Super Bowl. Well, guess you're going to die at M&T Bank Stadium.
I mean, he owns Home Depot. They can dig him a grave in there. And
I don't think Desmond's going to get himself a Super Bowl with Atlanta.
No. And Charles Cross, Seattle needed a tackle. They took the 3rd best tackle.
This was one of those where they all drafted relatively safe, and I was kind of freaking proud of them. I thought that was really smart of all these teams. This was a good draft. This was a great draft to watch as a fan. There was a lot of suspense and stuff like that.
Let me tell you, we moved up. Baltimore had already had Jordan Davis on the phone, like, you're getting taken at 14, kid, congrats, whatever. And then Houston
Is that true?
Down. Yeah. Houston moved up with the Eagles, and they switched. That's why the Eagles moved up.
So Baltimore had already called
Everybody
Jordan
already knew Jordan Davis was going to be a Raven if the Eagles couldn't move up.
Wow.
Well, because of that run at receiver between
I don't know. I can't believe they'd make that call.
Which, by the way, do you think that's right? Wilson first, Olave second, Jameson Williams third?
No, I switch Olave and Williams at least.
Wilson, you mean?
And Wilson, yeah. Because I think Williams is going to have the most upside of anybody. And I think with Michael Thomas there.
Even with Goff at the helm?
No, Goff is the bad thing here. Goff is the one thing that Jameson Williams is sitting there like, oh, fuck, that's right, I'm with the Lions now.
So the Ravens took a safety, but they got so many picks. They made so many moves.
They did.
They had 5 fifth-round picks this year.
The Lions weren't terrible, so...
No, they weren't terrible, but...
They were in a lot of games.
They do have some good receivers in Reynolds and Lamont.
You say they weren't terrible. They picked second overall, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in
a lot of games.
They were in a lot of games. They weren't like other teams that are just straight blown out. Like, why are we
I
watching?
love the Texans draft this year as well, even deeper. I like the Commanders.
That was a typical Lovie Smith draft. Now that I look at that, when I go back, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
I think the Saints had a solid draft too, and Penning and Chris Olave. I think that's great for them.
I think, and we can touch on this if we want. We've already kind of said it a little bit. Best overall draft grade for me, I'm giving it to the Eagles.
Eagles, in my opinion. I know the Jets had an amazing haul top to bottom, but I don't think they're all going to pan out, and I don't like that sauce at 4. I can't wait for
where are you
Tyreek
going
to blow
in terms of best draft overall?
I didn't honestly pay attention to the second, third, fourth
Makes
round.
sense.
So
Baltimore did dominate day 2. I thought
Jets,
they did really good.
Eagles because of Nakobe Dean in the third, and that center. That center was the one of the number 2 centers in the whole draft.
Well, he was, and here's the difference, right? You look
Nakobe
at
Dean ended up going to Baltimore.
No, Nakobe Dean went to the Eagles in round 3.
That's right.
So the center that they got,
Jurgensen,
Jason Kelsey, their center is the guy who scouted him and told them to pick him.
Yeah.
That, like I'm saying, if you're an Eagles fan, you are in love with Jason Kelsey. Not only because of his legendary Super Bowl speech.
Amazing.
But because he's clearly in it for the long haul with this team.
Yeah,
he loves the Eagles. They've done right by him. He's doing right by them. And he is going to take Jurgens by the fucking ear, and this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. This is what I want to see out of you.
I saw some tape on the kid because I was shocked at round 2, that pick too. I was like, really, a center? But I was like, you look at him and he has that quick explosive outs when they what's that run where they use the center and they go out to the left side. Yeah, they pull. He's fast, and Philly loves that about Jason Kelsey.
All right, so aside from the Eagles, who do you give the best draft grade to overall?
I told you, Houston, Jets,
No,
Baltimore.
Pick one.
I like Baltimore.
Yeah,
I really do. I like just everything they did. I know they didn't take a receiver for him, but I just like that they're just rebuilding. They took the best center in that Linderbaum kid. They got a great safety that they're going to be able to build, and they got a lot of talent in the 5th rounds and even in the 2nd and the 3rd.
Huh?
Yeah, honestly, I think I got to give it to the Eagles.
After the Eagles.
Oh, after the
Eagles?
I
mean, that was my... Oh, so who was your number 1 overall?
That was the Eagles.
Yeah, no, I'm saying who aside from the Eagles, because we all kind of consensus took them.
The Bills had a great draft, too. They got that kid out of... They got the corner.
They did.
They got the running back out of Georgia. They
got the corner, Elam, out of Florida.
And they got the Cook.
I didn't see...
Dalvin Cook's younger brother.
Yeah.
The Giants picked up, but I think the Giants did pretty good, too.
Don't ask DJ Saylor, would not agree. DJ Saylor
he was not happy with Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't know if he was happy.
He wasn't happy with a lot of it.
I mean, I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be a super stud, but I mean, with the Giants, they've had some ends that been known to be pretty good.
I'm a little curious about the Steelers. I know they needed to take a pick of quarterback, especially with Haskins passing away so suddenly. I'm just curious if maybe Pickett could have been taken in the 2nd round and they could have went more for a need.
I think he is the need. I think they're offensive linemen, but all the guys who you pick at 20 that are offensive linemen are already gone.
Why keep Rudolph in Trubisky?
Competition. But
and depth.
I'm going to take the Jets.
The Jets had a great draft.
I think the Jets, top to bottom, with every single pick they had, they improved. They really did.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to.
Garrett
Jets,
Wilson,
though.
they helped their defense majorly. In 3-4 years, that defense might look scary. And then you've got somebody for Zach Wilson. I mean, I think the Jets really drafted for need, and they drafted quality everywhere that they went.
So the Packers have they didn't take a receiver in the first round either. The Packers haven't.
Which is just
20
beyond
years
me.
Since they've taken a receiver in the first round.
Yeah. And that record stays strong.
Yo, the two teams took a linebacker and a defensive tackle out of Georgia, Green Bay and the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not bad at all. I mean, I don't know if that was the right linebacker to take.
And it's crazy because, I mean, a lot of the times your best wide receivers come in like second, third, fourth rounds.
But they didn't draft a slouch in Watson in the second round. I like the kid. I just don't think he ain't no Treylon Burks or somebody who's going to go get the ball up in the air.
So let's talk about, we talked about best draft. Who had the worst draft? And then I want to talk a little bit about the Bucs. Then I want to talk a little bit about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Dallas Cowgirls had the worst draft.
Okay. What do you think, Ryan?
I honestly didn't pay enough attention to tell you.
I'm going to give you that.
I like, bro, after they traded A.J. Brown, fuck this draft. I am done.
You were in a bad state of mind.
I don't care about nothing.
I'm going to agree with you.
And then
Dallas.
Underwhelming. They got the tackle out of Tulsa in round 1, which I just took a look at that, and I was like, you guys can't be serious with this. They did not, by any means, do everything to help their team that they could have where they were drafting. It just didn't make sense to me.
No, they took a project receiver in that Tolbert kid out of South Alabama. They took the edge rusher out of Ole Miss. All right, cool, great, but like none of these guys really had like these careers that were just long and just.
By the way, we're on Pro Football Focus as well. Taking a look at some of the draft grades that they give. If any start to scream out to me, I'll let you know. Carolina Panthers got an A. That's stout. They did have a great draft. This is the Bills. No, it's Baltimore Ravens. They got an A+.
I mean, they're look at some of those players they got, bro.
Yeah.
Lindenbaum, Ojabo, Travis Jones.
Them getting Ojabo in round 2, that was another huge
those 4 guys were all first rounders. Kyle Hamilton, Lindenbaum, Ojabo, and Travis Jones were all guys. Travis Jones was a linked to the first round. First round, early second. To get him in the third round like that, geez. Steals.
Yeah, I think Pro Football Focus is being really, really nice.
Arizona.
Let's jump to Tennessee. They gave them a B+. I mean, okay. Yeah, they're being real nice.
For fucking
hey, let me tell you something. You guys got a nice, powerful back out. You guys got Haskins out of Michigan, who could be a very good backup for you guys, especially when you lost Donta. Now Donta went somewhere else. Where'd he go?
Foreman?
Houston or something?
No, he came from Houston.
No, but he went back or something?
I don't know.
I know he signed with somebody else.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Bucs. So
yeah, let's talk about the Bucs.
Yeah, I've been talking about them obviously since we started talking draft and saying every single week I'm like DB. When we mocked, we had Kaiir Elam.
Before you go into it, pick to pick. Let's just hear an overall. Are you happy? Unhappy? Could care less? Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a could care less, and this isn't a situation anymore in Tampa, which is weird for me. That we have to pick a hole to fill on the team.
Right.
Now,
you clearly did. From the picks I see, you clearly went holes.
I don't think so. I think we added depth at spots that we already have players. The only guys that I'm looking at that I'm like, yeah, for sure, these guys are going to start are Logan Hall. We're going to see Rashad White get snaps. We're going to see Cade Otton, and we're going to see Zion McCollum out of Sam Houston. Those guys are going to see significant time.
The kicker in the 4th round, you don't think he's going to make the team?
He's actually not a kicker. He's a punter.
Oh, okay.
So he was drafted as a punter, so that's what he's going to do.
So 2 tight ends, inside defensive lineman, and 2 tackles.
And the guy we got here, Andre Anthony, he played with Devin White, and apparently Devin White's been a big cheerleader for him, wanting him to come in. So that's kind of got the hype train going for me for him. I think he's going to make a splash. He reminds me of somebody like Kenny Britt, who last year came out of Auburn, middle linebacker, and he contributed on special teams all year long.
I think the Bucs got too cute with this draft, if you really want my opinion.
Dante went to the
Foreman.
He ended up going to the Carolina Panthers.
Gotcha. Yeah, he'll get some good looks there.
I mean, McCaffrey will be injured by week 2, so
I mean,
he's going to get a lot of work.
Even if he doesn't, McCaffrey, they need to start saying, okay, Our car needs regularly scheduled maintenance. Let's not put it out there on the street every day and drive.
I don't know. Let's not run the smallest running back in between the giants at the defensive tackles. Maybe that sounds like a good idea to save his body. But back to the Bucks draft. I don't know. I think they might have gotten too cute for their britches.
I
if
think
that makes sense to you.
I know what you're trying to say, but what I'm saying is, looking at the team, everybody that's drafted here, we have a significant starter over them.
It's a Howie Roseman-esque pre-2022 draft. That's all I'm saying.
So you're not listening. What I'm saying is, we don't need any of these.
We need
these guys. We need these
defensive linemen,
but we don't need them to compete this year. This is to add depth and to pick for the future.
And see, to me, like, that's the best situation to be in.
Right.
Like,
2 tight ends, does that mean Gronk?
Honestly, be there.
No, because we lost O.J. Howard. So this one guy is coming in there because he is a specialist at blocking on the run. That's Otten. He is the blocking tight end. That's what they drafted him for. All of his tape were sealing off the edge as a blocker. So that's why he's there. Gronk they've said, is almost a shoe-in to come back to Tampa. This guy, Zion McCollum, they say is the prototypical Todd Bowles cornerback.
Oh, that's what he likes.
This is the guy that he likes. This is the guy that apparently he'd been watching and really wanted. So he's somebody that makes sense. Rachaad White, that guy is going to have a lot of playing time this year because he's going to be the change of pace back for Leonard Fournette.
Well, I mean, you don't get drafted in the second round.
No, you
round.
don't. And that was what they said about him. They said they liked his ability to run.
Can he hold the ball? Can he hold the ball better than Rojo?
I mean, I hope so. Rojo, I wouldn't have given up on him. I would have still had Rojo here. I don't want to pay him. Apparently, he wanted to get paid. I don't see that happening. But I thought he was a really, really talented runner. I think he's going to have a great career in Kansas City. But Rachaad White, the way they were talking about him, his hands and his ability to run between the tackles is what they wanted out of him. So he's clearly going to be that change of pace back. He may even be our third down back, which is a big role to fill as a rookie.
Right. Well, you still have Gio Bernard, too, that catches the ball. So.
Gio Bernard, he was not very... I mean, he's showing his age now in the league.
I mean, goddamn. Bro.
Great player.
It was
great
that
career.
When you guys picked him up, I don't even know why you did that. I'm like, really?
Experience.
But
leadership.
Again, I think this was a draft that we were just like, all right, let's add some depth here. Let's put some more guys. And they weren't afraid to trade back and get guys that they wanted to develop.
See,
all right.
This is the draft you should have took a kicker in the second round.
They took one in the fourth.
We will never, ever live that down.
So
ever.
this was this a bad draft? Bad draft isn't the right word. Was this just a draft lacking in superior football talent, or is it just like a meh? I mean, there was a lot of trades. It was exciting. You know?
I don't think this is a draft lacking in superior football talent. We saw one of the absolute best defensive linemen that I've seen on tape in a long time in terms of his combine footage, his gameplay footage, the hype he had throughout the year. I hope this guy is a mainstay in your team for years and years and years to come. I don't want to see him flop because I was really jazzed about that pick with Jordan Davis. But no, there's obviously a lot of talent on here. And this has become one of those things where people are only equating talented drafts to where the quarterbacks go. And this was not a draft for quarterbacks.
See, I don't really. Normally, I feel like quarterbacks are kind of like that commodity. Like when you get one when you really, really need one. And if it's a great draft class, then good. But like right now, especially in the AFC, it's the wild, wild west over there. You don't need any quarterback.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
You don't need any in the NFC either, really. So, I mean.
Sure. Seattle needs. They have Drew Lock and Geno Smith. They need a quarterback.
Yeah, but this isn't the draft to go get it. That wasn't
also true.
Wasn't there to go get it.
And I'm not disagreeing with you on terms of what makes a good draft. I'm talking about the way that it's looked at by the media and hyped up as how great drafts are. Because the first thing they talked about was Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis and who didn't go get a quarterback. Who did go get a quarterback? And I think that's horseshit. I think this is going to end up to be a very important draft.
Everybody was shocked that Ritter went before Malik, and I was like, it makes sense if you're Atlanta and you're a traditional team and you don't want that athletic superstar-ish thing.
And I think round 3, the Titans are sitting there and they're going,
that's the best player available.
The kid is still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a great talent, and Tannehill is not getting any younger. So if this is the guy that can be developed, they were on the phone with the QB coach. They were on the phone with the scouts.
I actually don't mind Tennessee taking Malik Willis in the third round because you're basically telling me Tannehill's got 2 more years at most, and then it's your turn, kid. We're going to give you enough time to sit there and learn. Where the window for Tannehill is closing, but it's closing for Tennessee in general before they rebuild again.
It's closing
Right?
anyways. I mean, he's 34 years old. Not
Tannehill.
Well, no,
everybody's
for
gonna-
Tannehill himself, yes, but even for Tennessee, win now.
Tannehill's 34.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna be freaking Tom Brady playing until they're 48.
No shit.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not the average.
But
You-
Tennessee
most
is in a
quarterbacks
win
didn't
now
even play
scenario.
Till 35, 34. Well, that's my point.
No.
He's on his way.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
How long can Henry keep up that fucking rushing title?
It doesn't. It doesn't matter. But they're
It
not.
was
They're
2
not
years
in
a row. Would have been last year's. I mean, if you had a
Yeah, it
rusher
would've
who
been.
actually had a comma in his average, you might say something different.
I just-
but
Yes, but those type of rushers don't last a very long time when they're taking punishment like that.
That's true.
you get to the age of
That's
30
what I'm talking
is
about.
normally.
I don't know if they're going to be able to be and win now. I think they got really lucky at the end of the year last year. But if Henry was there, you might be looking at a different Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't
was
know if
there,
they're in
though.
win now.
I mean, he
in the
came
playoffs.
back.
He was not. He
for
was
the
not.
No,
whatchamacallit.
he
Yeah.
wasn't
There,
100%. Well, he was there though.
But we've been in the playoffs the last 3 years.
But you guys put it in Tannehill's hands and he get let you down.
You
is
know what I
happened.
mean? Is
Well, he also
he had a bad game. I
Yeah.
mean, he's literally. I was just reading the thing on him how he was just going to therapy and different things like that because of that. Because all he could see was him just throwing those 3 picks. Like it's messed with him.
But you guys did lose
So-
to the Super Bowl. The people that went to the team that went to the Super Bowl, so
Yeah.
it's not bad.
That's cool. I mean, it was the year, same thing 2 years ago when we lost to the Chiefs, who went like the AFC Championship. That's kind of what happens.
but he would never get caught dead saying that same comment about Tampa Bay.
Who's Tampa?
Exactly.
oh, those are the guys that beat the brakes off y'all in the wild card round.
We still
this
living in the
last season.
past?
So this is a wild draft. I think there are a lot of great picks.
Can't believe we're living in the past.
But we're going to get into OTAs pretty soon. I'm sure there's going to be more drama. There's going to be rumors about guys showing up and showing out. There's going to be rumors about guys who are going to be draft busts. We're in the thick of it now.
Don't forget, Panthers play tonight. Forza Drew. I give you a little Italian with the little Claude Giroux there.
Man, this guy and his Panthers.